Right, so this is what we have here. Now, what we've got here is basically gold 15 minutes time frame. Now, this video here is going to be all about liquidity and stop hunting. Let's just call it liquidity, right? And then I'll speak to you about the little trade here that I took. Now, let's start off from here. Price goes up, price comes down, right? You get the fibs. We're just going to do it. We're going to keep it nice and simple. What happens here? 78.8 gets respected and it rallies up, right? Now, what you would think is to get back in, you take the low, the recent low to the recent high, and you'd think it would come around this zone here, which is 78. But no. What does it do? It basically stops everyone that has their stop loss here, because what you would want to do normally is you would go long around here, 78, let's just say, put your stops on the wick or just behind the wick, and then you would target, there's your 3-to-1, right? What happens here? Stopped out. You get stopped out. Now, the next trade, let's just have a look at how it's hunting. Here, from this wick to here, nothing really happens. You don't get stopped out. Now, what happens here is the market goes up and it comes all the way. So this is for anyone that wants to be bullish, or how they will be getting ripped apart because of liquidity. It comes all the way down. Now, anyone that's holding any sort of longs, from here, or you might say to yourself, I'm basically going to buy around the 50% zone or the 78% zone from this swing to that swing here, and you're going to put your stops here. No. What happens again? This wick takes out any stops around here. Now, let's bear in mind, this low here hasn't been taken out, but let's look at what this does at 150, 150. It takes out any sort of stops around here. So anyone that's, into swing trading, or might have thought this is a good position and they want to take this up towards all-time high, and they're a swing trader, that would have taken you out. And that's if you're bullish, by the way. Yeah. Now, that just goes to show, sometimes you need to wait for liquidity to be taken out. You need to wait. Had you waited here, so if you check my TikTok, I got, I'll actually post it here. I'll post it here. The trade that I took, literally bullseye, last price. Why? Because I knew as soon as it had taken out this, it would have gone back up, and that's exactly what it did. Now I want to speak to you about this trade here. I'm going to now bring it to the 5 minutes time frame, yeah. Something that I'm going to put more about on my YouTube. I want to talk more about this setup that I always do. It always hits. Majority of the time it hits. I wouldn't say it always hits, but it's got a high win rate. It doesn't always show up. But anyways, 5 minutes time frame. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Support, support, support. Price, after taking that everyone out, it goes all the way up. Now, you would think, because it's grabbed stops from even here, because you have to look at this, it doesn't go here, then bounce. It disrespects any sort of longs. Anyone that's trying to long from this zone here to reach this resistance, it basically, you'd think that, yep, you're in, you put your stop loss or your break even, it comes back and it kills everything, and it also kills all the price action, what I explained earlier on. Now, a lot of the time is, what tends to happen is, downwards trend, market likes to break out. Now, when it breaks out, this yellow bar here is where all the stops are if you're shorting, because I'm going to take it down to the 3 minutes time frame. You understand what I'm talking about. Can you see this red bar right here? That red bar is where, once it's printed, any scalpers, what they're going to do is they're going to basically start taking short positions to target back down here. And they'll put their stops here. So liquidity is all around this area. The market has different ideas. It breaks out. And then when it breaks out, when it's coming back down, there's going to be a lot of buy orders. People buying. Right? But it doesn't go up. It goes back up. People think, they're in the money. They might have put their stops. Who knows where they might have put their stops? If they put it below this red candle, they would have got taken out because of this wick. So what ends up happening is it goes back up, it cleans, it takes everybody's stop, everyone that's shorted early, it takes them out, the buyers, it takes them out, and it just comes back into the trend. Just like that.